Hey, what it do, y'all? It's your boy YouTube Blue coming back at you again. And so today, 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 what the hell is today? Tuesday? Yeah. See, it's just this Corona. Excuse me, COVID-19, whatever that you want to call it, um, has just hit us really hard. Apparently, our numbers are higher than China right now, which is crazy because that's where it started. Um, but like we always say, I just hope that there's an end to this. I hope that they can eventually find a cure for it, whatever the situation is, so we can get back to normal life. Now, the NFL still says that they're going to host a draft, but it's going to be more virtual. They're probably going to have a lot of tele stuff going on, teleconferencing, uh, us just watching it like we would on TV. So those of us that were going to the draft, I'm pretty sure that everybody's canceled their flights by now, which sucks because, actually going to Vegas would have been awesome for the draft. You know what I'm saying? Just being there for the lights and the sounds and hearing the change from the casino machines, the you know what I'm saying? Like it's just it just would have been a good release from us being quarantined and everything that we have to do now and this the stay at home. Now, I really wish people would just stay in the damn house because the ones that are not doing that are not helping the situation, and it's making this thing last even longer because they're trying to find vaccines for these things and whatever the situation is to try to just combat it at least. So as I talk about the COVID-19, it has a lot to do with what I'm getting into with this particular video about the NFL. Now, the NFL and Roger Goodell and his executives, they had their teleconference because they were supposed to have, their introductory to this season meeting, but that turned into basically just like a teleconference. And, they were talking about different things about, the playoff expansion, which they voted on today. All the NFL owners were on a teleconference and they voted today on the expansion of the playoffs, which will come into effect at the end of this season. And I'm going to get into that as well. Now, how does it affect the NFL right now? Well, as far as the NFL, I'm not going to say that they're, as business as usual because, everything is on hold right now. We don't know what's going to happen. We don't know when this thing is going to subside where we can go back to not having to be social distance from each other. Um, they haven't really talked about long term effects of this as far as the NFL. We know that the NBA, they're not playing right now, but they're talking about, just whenever they come back, just having their playoffs because, Adam Silver, they don't want to get in the way of what the NFL is doing. Now, it could be a situation where the NFL doesn't have OTAs. We could get to a point where we'll get right into training camp and then boom, the season just right there, which is kind of going to suck for the players because they need that time to get acclimated with their team, especially the rookies. Like I would really feel really sorry for the rookies and the guys that get drafted and guys going to different teams trying to learn their system because you don't have that time with your team and being able to practice and gain that camaraderie with your new teammates. It's hard to do that when you have a situation like this where it's an epic global epidemic going on, a pandemic or whatever you want to call it. Now, we don't know what's going to happen as far as like off-season programs, but as of right now, everything is shut down. Now, we could get to a situation where by June, July, things could change. Now, as far as Dak Prescott goes, it hinders him a lot because contract talks and things of that nature. And I know a lot of this contract stuff has to do with the situation at hand. Now, the longer that he doesn't sign his contract, you start to get to a slippery slope. Now, the Cowboys got to July 15th. July 15th. That's the last day that you can offer a contract to a player Because if not, they're gonna have to play on that said franchise tag. Now, do we want Dak Prescott to play on a franchise tag? More than likely not, because if you sign him to an actual contract, you can not use so much money towards the cap this season. So, you can, when you have a longer contract, you can spread that out. Now, the issue now is the length of the contract. The Cowboys want to give him a 5+ year contract. He only wants a 3 or 4 year contract. Why? Because of the CBA. The CBA and we're supposed to be having, well, they're supposed to be having, new TV contracts and things of that nature. So everything is supposed to go up as far as ratings, things of that nature. But ain't nothing happening with the COVID-19. Now, with that being said, hopefully things could change and hopefully Dak could get signed because I'm done talking about it. Like I'm not really speaking on that topic until it happens. Like it's just like with when D Law got his contract. Like I was like, you just get tired of hearing the same thing over and over again. So it just you're not gonna hear me say too much about it because at this point, I'll just speak on it when it happens. Now, let's just hope that we do have a season this year because you look at the season, the way the NFL is set up, it's not like the NBA where they have so many games that they can condense if they want to and still make it seem like, okay, it was a competitive thing. Now, the NFL right now only plays 16 games in the season, not counting playoffs and preseason. You cut that, you condense that, it messes up the whole process, the cycle of how the NFL works as far as seeing who's going to get into playoffs and things of that nature. Segue to my conversation. As we talk about playoffs, the vote that got passed today was for the expansion of the playoffs. I said that earlier in the video. This is the first playoff expansion since 1990. So it's crazy. It's crazy how we're in a situation now where all of a sudden we're into. I never thought that they were gonna expand the playoffs. Like before, we had this conversation a couple of years ago when they first brought it out. Like I was actually shocked. I was like, when they first talked about it, I was like, that's bull. They're not gonna do that. They're not gonna expand the playoffs. But hey, they ended up passing, and this is where we're at now. So today the vote passed, officially approved a 14-team playoff, up from the 12 that we had before. So the things that are going to change primarily, and I got this written down, so I'm gonna read it off. Starting this upcoming season, each conference will now have 3 wild card teams, and wild card weekend will consist of 3 games on Saturday and 3 on Sunday. Which we love more football, baby. That's what it's all about. We love to see these teams play and get into the playoffs. Now, another thing that's going to change too, as a result of that, each conference the 2 seed will no longer receive a bye, which is going to be interesting as well. That second seed will instead play and host. They will host a home game against the 7 seed on the first weekend of the playoffs. So it provides a lot more competitiveness. It provides more football, more games, more money. You see, so it's all about capital, y'all. So for teams that like, because we always talk about like at the end of the season, like if they go 8-8, 9-7, they're probably not gonna make the playoffs. You could pretty much make the playoffs at probably 8-8 this year. Like if this rule would have happened this season, the Cowboys still wouldn't have made the playoffs because the Eagles still had the this tiebreaker. It's gonna get even more trickier when you got to go through where teams have the same record, but you got to see okay what was the strength of their schedule. Then you got to get into whether they had tie games. Then you got to get into how many conference wins they had or how many divisional games wins they had. Like so, it gets a little tricky once you get up in there. But another thing is too, like a team like the Pittsburgh Steelers that didn't make it to the playoffs, they would have made it this season if that rule would have been in effect already this past season. And they were 8-8. So it just depends on what conference you're in, how strong your conference is. You know, if your teams are bunched up like the NFC East normally is, because we're like the laughing stock of the league. They call us the NFC least, but not no mores. Hopefully we can change that in 2020 with our new coaching staff, things of that nature. And hopefully other teams in the division too get better. That way it provides more competition for everybody. And this is what we're looking for. We're looking for that competition. We're looking to get better at every facet of the game. That is the name of the game, guys. So that's pretty much all I have right now. Let me know what you guys think about the playoff expansion and bringing two more teams into the fold for playoffs. I think that's going to be a really good look for the league. Once this COVID-19 is over. One last thing I just want to say, I understand that hunkering down is stressful. We have to look out for our health. That's the biggest thing, right? Guys, look out for your health. Make sure that your loved ones are safe. Listen to what they're saying on TV, but also do your own research. Don't be so caught up in this and like you're getting stressed out because you're trying to figure things out. I get it. Listen to what the media says, but don't always listen to what they say. Use a little bit of common sense and just realize, okay, something don't make sense. Do some research, talk to doctors, just keep your eyes and ears open. Those of you that are wearing those surgical masks, like the ones like when you go to the doctor's office, stop wearing those unless you are sick, unless you have the virus. This virus is airborne. It's not airborne. It's drip. Drip meaning like you have to get it with direct contact with someone. So if it was airborne, like the bubonic plague or something like that, or whatever the situation is, then you could just walk into the air and get it. It doesn't. It's this virus doesn't work like that. You got to have contact with the person. This is the reason why they say social distancing. This is the reason why they say stay your ass at home. Like Mark Holmes says, stay your ass at home. So stay your ass at home. Now, unless you're essential, shout out to all the essential workers, I guess including myself, all the people in the medical field and things of that nature that are around sick people all the time. My grandmother's in rehab right now from having surgeries or whatever, and because of this COVID-19, I can't even see her right now, but I can talk to her and I can video chat her. So she's doing all right now, getting better and better every day. Now, I just want to say, like, everybody keep safe, keep your family safe, keep your eyes and ears open, and just ride it out. Just ride it out. Now, until then, you get to watch all of us YouTubers do our thing and provide you with videos. I'm also working on my mock draft right now. I basically pretty much have my 7-round mock draft for the Cowboys. It's really hard this year for me because, again, we got a new coaching staff and things are different. I'm pretty much going by what I think makes sense, and I'm using a lot of educated guesses and common sense. Again, will I get it right? Probably not. Does it matter? No, because mock drafts are fun. It's just for fun, Philip Ellis. It's just for fun. It doesn't matter about being right or wrong because hell, you never I'm never the type to sit here and be like, "Oh, I'm right, and you're wrong." No, I just state my opinion just like everybody else is. The only thing that I try to give to you guys is things on a different level. Just try to give you a bigger, broader spectrum. Thanks again to all my subscribers. I appreciate you guys for getting us over 5,000 subscribers. Yes, it's been a long time coming. I've had this channel for 3 years now, so steady on the rise. So I appreciate you guys, you new subscribers. I've seen you guys send a message in there. Shout out to you guys. Also, if you're new, if you're just seeing this video and you haven't subscribed yet, go ahead and support the channel. That's the best way to support. Just go ahead and hit the subscribe button. I'll be putting out content the best way that I can. And guess what, guys? Don't get it twisted. It's your boy E2 Blue, always keeping it real. Talk to y'all soon.